The all too familiar season of political negotiations and to some demands is on. A section of leaders from central Kenya are set to put their demands or negotiations to Deputy President William Ruto despite their support for the second in command. Tonight, let's make sense of the negotiations and demands ahead of the 2022 game plan. Good evening. You are watching Pundits Night with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi. Keep talking to us. The hashtag to use is Pundits Night. Your voice matters, so does your opinion counts. Send us a message on 22047. Let's bring in our guest tonight. So, Member of Parliament Caleb Kostani is with us. Kimani Ngunjiri, Bahati Lawmaker, had confirmed his attendance for the show, but I suppose he will be joining us. Nonetheless, the show has to continue. Mheshimiwa, good evening, and thank you for making time for us tonight.
Good evening, Abu Bakr, and Ramadan Kareem to you and all our Muslim brothers and sisters across the world.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And just on the phraseology for the context of this discussion, it's a balance between negotiations and demands.
Yes, it is a balance between negotiations and demands. And I think our brothers who are elected representatives of the people of Mount Kenya region, which does not cover only one community. Mount Kenya is home to many, many other communities from Kenya and out and beyond Kenya. And I think it is within their right to negotiate and ensure that when they go back to their people and say, let us support so and so, they have facts, they have reason, they have content.
You say they have facts and reasons, and quite a number on this show, Mheshimiwa. You have told me that these leaders and some in Tanga are not undermining the president. But if someone is to look into this and say these leaders are negotiating in the absence of the political leader from the Mount Kenya region, they are surely undermining him, one will suppose.
Well, I don't think they are undermining the president because the president is the leader of Kenya. I think the president ought to have ceded being a Mount Kenya leader once he assumed office as the president of the Republic of Kenya. And he is now busy running the affairs of the nation. He is busy pushing BBI and the Big Four agenda, though that seems to have taken a backseat. So I think it's quite in order for the 40 plus members of parliament to negotiate with a presidential candidate whom they feel would resonate well with them. So I don't think the president would be offended by that, because these people are actually taking a load off him to go ahead and negotiate, because they are still active in politics. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta has about 12 months, and then he will be out of the political scene by virtue of the constitutional limits that come with the office that he holds.
Mheshimiwa, you say they are offloading the president of some weight, negotiating in his absence as someone who described himself as the leader to the country and to the region. Will seem as though there is something going on that he is not aware, which again points out to the question of undermining the president.
Abu Bakr, I don't know why you are insisting that the president is being undermined, and I don't.
I'm not insisting, Mheshimiwa.
Mheshimiwa,
I'm not insisting. I'm asking, will it not look as though there is undermining somewhere?
Well, it depends on which side you are looking at it from. There is no written law on who can negotiate on behalf of who. These people are elected representatives of the people for the regions that they represent, so they're within their rights to negotiate. I don't think if I were the president, I would not react negatively to these negotiations. I would even give them suggestions and say maybe add one or two a voice here and there. And even maybe join them in one of the meetings, call these leaders and have a chat with them, and let them give you ideas, and also you give them the ideas. That I would do if I were the president, but then unfortunately I'm the member of parliament, so I'm not the president.
All right, in the preamble of this interview, Mheshimiwa, I noted of a season of negotiations and demands, and still on the negotiations. These are elected leaders, I suppose, who are more than 46 in number. These are leaders who still have 1 year in office to serve those who elected them, be it at a constituency level, at a county level, for the governors for that matter. Why negotiate? Why not serve for the time left first?
I don't think by negotiating they have stopped serving. They continue to serve as members of parliament, as senators, as women reps, and even those governors who have been meeting with the deputy president continue to serve as governors. What they are doing is following the word that they say that if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. Mm-hmm. So what they are doing is they're planning to succeed. And that is why they're planning ahead, and it is very good. Even us as members of members of parliament from the Rift Valley region, we will be meeting very soon to also chat away and negotiate and see who will have which government or which political party will safely have our interests at heart, and which one are we going to support. So even us, we shall be meeting very soon to discuss the future, to discuss the challenges that our people face. Mm-hmm. We know we have had issues with maize, we've had issues with the milk prices, we have some issues with the roads, we have issues with rural electrification connectivity. The people of Mount Kenya have issues with the economy is going. They have issues with tea, with coffee. So those are the issues that they want to put on the table and have that ensure that whoever is coming in, whoever they will give support, is going to prioritize the economic recovery of this of their regions.
Mheshimiwa, you talk of issues, and I was reading a statement earlier on from these leaders as well, talking of issues that are affecting central Kenya and other parts of the country. These are leaders who some have been in office for close to 10 years now, pending, of course, the election next year. And we are still talking of issues. Is that not politics, Mheshimiwa?
Well, Abubakar, you know, we don't live in isolation. We know that we have faced challenges. And especially those of us who voted for Jubilee, we have faced serious challenges, especially on this second term of Jubilee, whereby we've seen a lot of dishonesty, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of lack of respect for the rule of law, and even to adhere to the constitutional, to adhere to our constitution. And this has prompted these leaders to say, hey, listen, we went into an arrangement without any negotiation. We have run into trouble and we have nothing. We don't even have a document that we say we agreed on this. So I think now is the time to start negotiating for that. And of course, as we continue to serve in our term, we are planning for the future, Abubakar.
All right, and you talk of political backstabbing for purposes of curiosity. From which end?
Oh, within Jubilee, there's been a lot of we have been tormented. Those of us who have been in Jubilee, you've seen the mistreatment of the deputy president, efforts to, and that is why we appreciate this constitution, that no matter what you do, you cannot sack the deputy president. I'm sure if the president had the liberty to sack this deputy president, William Ruto would not be deputy president anymore. But because of a good constitution, because of security of the tenure of the office of the deputy president, William Ruto is still deputy president. He's still serving in the Jubilee administration. And those are the things that we need to look at going forward, whereby we safeguard offices that are constitutional offices, so that we give them respect, so that you serve without fear or favor, and even of intimidation and any other threats that may come your way.
And is it not the uniqueness of these negotiations then that the negotiating members are from the House of Jubilee, your own party, Mheshimiwa?
Well, that is the majority. Jubilee is the dominant political party in central Mount Kenya region for now. I think those members would be ditching Jubilee as and when the time comes to go to a political party, depending on how we go with the negotiations and how they would agree with whoever they will agree with. So I think they're within their rights. Those members of parliament are within their rights to carry on with those negotiations.
All right, you talk of some getting to other political parties. Is that not in direct contrast to what you said, Mheshimiwa, and you are on record saying I quote that we are not forming another party until we sort out the mess in Jubilee.
Yes, very clearly we are still trying to sort out the mess in Jubilee. And I told you, failing to plan is planning to fail. So we have a political outfit, a friendly political outfit going by the name of UDA, which if things in Jubilee don't get sorted out, if Jubilee doesn't wake up and gets back on track, then we shall leave it to run down the hill without any driver, and we shall jump onto another political vehicle that we will be in control of. As it is now, Jubilee is on a free fall.
And what does sorting out things in Jubilee, in your own view, mean, Mheshimiwa?
Well, we are hoping that those who have been given the mandate and are running the party now will wake up to the reality that gone are the days when you would run the party as if it's a private members club. Gone are the days when you would threaten elected representatives with KRA, with DCI, ESCC, and all this, and expect them to toe a certain line which they don't agree with. A majority of the Jubilee members of Parliament and MCAs do not agree that the priority now is to change the constitution. It definitely isn't. And even if it was then, maybe yes, before COVID, you would even explain, you would argue it. But now, with the advent of COVID, we're getting into a year plus of COVID-19, and we've seen how it has ravaged the whole world and how it is getting the infection rate in Kenya is also going high. This is the time to drop BBI. Carry out a massive vaccination of Kenyans, especially those who are above the age of 40 and above, and so that we can get back to reopening our economy. So that should be the priority. Those members of Mount Kenya agree with me, and I agree with them that BBI is not a priority now. And those are the issues that we have with Jubilee administration. They've run off the track. They are pushing an agenda that was not even in our manifesto.
But it is the president's agenda. He has rallied his foot soldiers, his party, quite a number of times to endorse his agenda, which is the BBI.
Abubakar, the president has not rallied his party to support BBI because we have never had a meeting. He has never even told us the genesis of BBI.
So let me interject. Let me interject.
What we hear from in press conferences.
All right. Let me interject. Let me interject you at that point.
Specifically discuss BBI.
Let me interject you at that point. You say the president has not talked about these to party members. The president has publicly, through the media, through even Jubilee's own structures, talked about this being his legacy. He said he was doing this for the country. At a bare minimum, you will agree with him on that.
Well, it does not mean that everything that the president says I have to agree with or we have to agree with. So that is his opinion. We have a different opinion. He has not given us the audience, because ideally what would happen, even you see his colleague in the handshake, Raila Odinga, called an ODM PG meeting and briefed them on the handshake, briefed them on BBI. They seem to have more understanding of BBI than we do. But as far as Jubilee we are concerned, we have never been called to specifically discuss BBI. The only time Jubilee meets is when we want to expel somebody, discipline somebody, and that's it. But we've never discussed BBI as a party. Even now, as the way the economy is going, we should have a Jubilee parliamentary group meeting to discuss how are we going to revive the economy. Kenyans are suffering. We have seen how Kenyans are suffering under the arms of the police with the curfew enforcement of the curfew restrictions and the curfew times. Really, we need a serious discussion on this country, exactly where
All right.
are we.
And we will come to the state of the country a little bit later in this discussion. Just on the point of you saying that the president has not involved Jubilee members and Jubilee into the BBI, the president has identified this as part of his legacy. The least you will expect, in my own view or in my own opinion, I could be wrong, is that the House of Jubilee, which he leads, should back him. It's more than an opinion, as you say. It's him saying, this is what I want to be remembered for.
Well, Abubakar, when you know there's a difference when you say this through proxies or through press conferences, and is different than when you call a PG meeting whereby we can have an interactive discussion, not for him to also go and talk down on us. We need to have a parliamentary group meeting whereby we go and have a discussion. We tell him what we feel about BBI. We tell him how Kenyans are suffering. We tell him the priorities that we think are supersede BBI, are superior to BBI. So that is the kind of discussion we want to have. But if it is his legacy to run things the way he's running them, then that's it. Let's wait and see how the legacy will unfold.
Still on the question of involvement, and I'm insisting on that, Mheshimiwa, we have seen quite a number of Jubilee members, elected leaders on the Jubilee ticket, faulting the president, faulting this as his agenda, faulting the party itself. You yourself are on record saying, and I quote, that Jubilee Party is in a very confused state. We are not functioning as a party. We are functioning as a private members club. End of quote. You wouldn't expect the president to involve you in anything he's doing based on these comments, Mheshimiwa.
Well, that's a problem with the Jubilee administration now. They are allergic to the truth. What I have said there, I stand by that that quote. It is very true that Jubilee has become a very, very irresponsible political party. We've had people who hold no elective office. They are still temporary, people who are appointed to run the party on a temporary basis are on temporary 5 years down the line. So Jubilee is due for elections. Jubilee is due to renew its membership so that the party is controlled and owned by the people. But I don't see that happening now. I think it's a bit too late in the day for Jubilee. And Abubakar, the president is the leader of this country. He leads those who voted for him and those who voted against him. For me, I have voted for him 4 times. I don't think we have reached a stage whereby the president would say, I don't want to talk to Caleb because he doesn't agree with me. I would expect my president to give me a call and we discuss issues that affect the people of Soy, the people of Rift Valley, the people of Kenya. And we need to be able to disagree in order to agree.
And Mheshimiwa, how will the president call you and talk to you about Soy's issues if you are, and among others, in the front line describing his own political party as a private member state?
That is a point whereby he needs to call us and ask, why are you calling my political party or our political party, for that sake, a private members club? He needs to wake up to the fact that Jubilee is not being run as a political party. First of all, Jubilee is funded. It's not just a political party. It is funded by taxpayers. We need to have the audited accounts. We need to know exactly how much is being spent on what program, who are spending this money, and we need to have an audited report by Jubilee on exactly how they are spending the taxpayers' money. That is not happening, Abubakar, and that's why I say Jubilee is being run like a private members club, like it's a private business.
All right, even though some will disagree with you, let's move from that. The DP is also on record, and I believe in the capacity that you have publicly supported him, you can comment on this. He says that the Jubilee administration's agenda was derailed by the March 9th, 2018 handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Do you believe so as well?
Yes, I think when the handshake came, people got too excited with the handshake and they forgot that we had an agenda that we were elected on. We had promises we made to Kenyans that we needed to deliver on. Some we have successfully delivered, others were ongoing, but everything slowed down and all efforts, all energy swung into an item, an animal called BBI, and everybody started saying, it's now time to change the constitution. All of a sudden, the priority was to change the constitution. The biggest beneficiaries of BBI will be people who will occupy the top 6 positions, which will be distributed depending on who is the tribal kingpin of which side and of which tribe. So I think we lost our priority during the handshake. We got excited about it, but I'm happy now that sense is prevailing. People have slowed down. The questions are being asked. People have realized that they moved a little bit too fast. And I think with time, we're going to see a lot of changes coming up very soon.
Mheshimiwa, it is one thing to point to the handshake as a factor that derailed the Jubilee administration's promises. But there are promises just for facts and accuracy that were made even before the handshake, with the Jubilee administration has not yet delivered on.
Abubakar, that is why I say we were in the process of delivering on the promises we made. But
in the second term?
In the second term, yes, and that is when now the handshake. And remember, we were re-elected for this second term based on a track record, based on what we achieved in the first 5 years, 2013 to 2017. Mm-hmm. And that was what gained us the re-election in 2017. So we were in the process of implementing all those, but it is out there in the open. Everybody knows that once the handshake came in, everything slowed down. And we started now discussing the change constitution. And here we are, I think 3 years down the line, we are not done with BBI yet.
All right, and let's talk of the 2022 matrix and coalitions negotiations now, and talk of a possible coalition that has been pointed out to lately in as far as the political realignment is concerned, and that is a possible coalition between Deputy President and ODM leader Raila Odinga. First, what are your thoughts in that regard?
Well, Raila Odinga is a very worthy competitor. Raila Odinga is somebody who has been around the Kenyan politics for a long time. I think he'll be having his fifth stab at the presidency or so. And Raila Odinga, the similarities he has with William Ruto, both of them have a national appeal. I think they are the only two leaders now who are left who have a national appeal and who are running for presidency in 2022. So I don't think either of them would want to play second fiddle to the other. We're looking forward to having a very robust debate and competition against ODM, which also is a political party that actually can field candidates anywhere in the Republic of Kenya. Not generally Nyanza region, whereby the party leader comes from, but ODM is a huge political party in Kenya, and that is why we are also building UDA, because Jubilee has lost that grip, Jubilee has lost that vision. So we are hoping that we can build UDA to be a national party, whereby when you field a candidate, somebody will see the candidate as a person of a national party, not from a particular tribe. So I don't think we are interested in having a coalition with ODM or with Raila Odinga. We wish him speedy recovery from the illness that he is battling with. And once he's back on track, we would like to have him rebuild his party. We have seen they're ongoing with the registration of members in ODM, the way we are doing also in the UDA. Jubilee is quiet. All the other small political parties are quiet. So really, the competition in 2022 will be a two-horse race. It will be William Ruto versus Raila Odinga versus William Ruto.
Caleb, even though there are many others who I suppose will declare interest upon the constitutional timing in as far as members wanting to vie for the presidency is concerned, I still want us to talk of coalitions ahead of 2022, but I understand we need to take a short break. Stay with us, Mheshimiwa. Time for us to take a short break here on Pundits Night. We'll be back with this discussion after this break. Stay tuned.
Home of Untold Stories.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali, tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Ndio job nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Finca Properties Limited introducing Equator Gardens Phase 2 Nanyuki, a few minutes drive from Nanyuki town near Olpajeta Conservancy. This is a strategic property offering a homely serene environment with nearby schools, hospitals, with a space for children playground and kindergarten. Invest today with a cash offer price of 200,000 for 50 by 100 plot and a discounted price of 350,000 for 100 by 100 plot of land. Legal fees and transfer costs inclusive. This is a gated control development property with water and electricity on site. We offer free site visit every Wednesday and Saturday. Visit our offices in Kitengela Pena Towers first floor. Contact us on 0721 737300 or SMS the word plot to 40309. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited. Prime and affordable.
Mimi sipendi unapanguza floor. Hiyo dust uache hapa kwa meza. Clean up. This is a problem, eh? Next time, uende ununue selector yako, utengeneze sandwich zako, uachane na sandwich za boss.
Selector. The difference is in the taste.
Je, umepata habari hizi njema kutoka kwa Murogo Herbal Clinic? Due to public demand, sasa tumepunguza bei ya dawa yetu maalum ya kuimarisha nguvu za kiume ya Libi Power kwa 50%. Katika ofa hii ya mwezi huu, full dose ya Libi Power sasa utaipata kwa shilingi 11,200 pekee. Half dose ni shilingi 8,700, nayo sachet ambayo itakuhudumia vyema kwa hadi kipindi cha miezi 6 ni shilingi 2,500 pekee. Ukilipa kupitia nambari yetu ya Paybill 500888, tunakutumia dawa hii popote ulipo kote nchini na hatutakutoza malipo ya usafiri. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari ya simu 0722997788 au 0705191919. Harakisha ujipatie Libi Power yako hii leo kabla ya ofa hii kukamilika. Libi Power, imarisha penzi lako.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to Pundits Night. Remember, you can be part of these discussions. Send us a message on 22047. The hashtag to use is Pundits Night on Twitter. Leave us a message as well on all our social media platforms and be part of this discussion. Let's bring back our guest, a Member of Parliament, Caleb Kostani. Caleb, before the break, we talked of possible coalitions come 2022 and ahead of the next year's general election. I pointed out to a possibility of Raila and Ruto forming a coalition. You said in your response that you will not be interested in such a coalition, if I got you right. Why so?
Because we are competitors. I think we do not want to, neither UDA or rather our side and ODM would like to eliminate the competition that is shaping up between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Mm-hmm. So it will be the two R's that will be competing. Any other person, as you said earlier, Abubakar is welcome to join the presidential race, but there's the position number 1 and 2 will be between two people.
All right.
The rest will join in from wherever they'll join the queue.
And you say any other person is welcomed, any other person apart from Raila Odinga?
I said any other person. Raila Odinga is an ODM presidential candidate. You can take that to the bank. Uh-huh. And William Ruto will be a presidential candidate of whichever political party or outfit he will choose. Mm-hmm. So I said any other presidential candidate is welcome, because I know we'll have the Abdiba Didas and all those. They're welcome to join the race, but I said they will join the queue from number 3 going backwards.
Given that Raila Odinga on record has said he will not talk of 2022 and vying for that position till the BBI bill passes. Why are you shutting the door for him to form any coalition with the Deputy President if he intends to?
Well, because I know that we as those who support the Deputy President, we know that the strongest challenger that we have, a person who can put up a robust campaign, a person who can appeal to Kenyans outside his political home base, are two people in Kenya now. That is William Ruto and Raila Odinga. I don't see any other a leader who whose names are being floated, who can actually be heard and seen to have a say beyond their tribal home base. So that is why I feel Raila Odinga and William Ruto will be the competitors for 2022.
And by your own statement, you mean the likes of Musalia Mudavadi, Gideon Moi, KANU chairman, Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya, are not part of the equation that you will equate to national leaders?
Abubakar, those are leaders of tribal parties.
But they say they are national leaders, just to be fair to them.
They are leaders of tribal parties, because look at this. Look at the composition of ANC. The party leader is Musalia Mudavadi. The Secretary General is somebody from Vihiga. The chairman of the party is somebody from Vihiga. Look at Ford Kenya. Party leader is Moses Wetangula. Secretary General is Chris Wamalwa. I don't know who else. Oh, everybody, Wafula Munyinyi. All these are people from Bungoma County. That is, look at KANU. Gideon Moi is a party leader, is a party chairman. Nick Salat is a secretary general. The other NEC members are all from 98% are from the Rift Valley. So really, same thing with Wiper. These are just tiny tribal political parties.
Mheshimiwa, is it fair for you to say these are tribal parties, given that these parties equally have a share, however big or small it is, when it comes to Kenyans voting for them through the ballot?
Well, Abubakar, if you don't believe me, then let's have this discussion on the 12th of August 2022.
It's more than a question of believing you, Mheshimiwa, isn't it? It's a case of parties saying they are national parties, you discrediting them, saying they are tribal parties.
Abubakar, practical facts. These parties cannot go beyond their tribal ring. They cannot sail through outside their tribal comfort zones.
All right, Mheshimiwa, you talked of the candidate already, at least per the party you referred to as UDA, which I will ask you a little bit later about. You refer to the presidential candidate as the Deputy President William Ruto come 2022. Is that correct?
I said if he decides. William Ruto is still in Jubilee, the same way we are. If Jubilee heals and wakes up and rises to the occasion, we have no problem with him running on a Jubilee ticket. But if Jubilee continues with the free fall the way it is, then we'll have to abandon it and seek another political outfit. And as you heard the Deputy President say, the best option would be UDA because it's already an affiliate of the Jubilee Party.
And given that in his latest media interview, he talked of 2022 ambitions, saying and equating it to the former President Kibaki, who served under Moi, him wanting to serve a fresh term in as far as the presidency is concerned. At least it is clear that he wants to be the President of the Republic of Kenya.
It is very clear. Yes, William Ruto wants to be the President of the Republic of Kenya. He has a plan. He just doesn't want to be President to add on to his CV that he once was President. He wants to be President of Kenya. He has a plan on how to transform this country. He has a plan on how we are going to implement the bottom-up approach as opposed to the top-down approach, which has failed us miserably. So William Ruto wants to be the President of the country, and he has a plan, and I think we need to support him.
And Mheshimiwa, is that not in contradiction to your earlier statement that no one is undermining the president, given then that his own deputy wants to succeed him, is in political negotiations, political meetings, and the Jubilee agenda of the presidency is put to question?
You know, Abubakar, it is out there in the open that the deputy president has been sidelined, or rather the president is no longer working with his deputy president the way he worked with him 2013 to 2017. There has been a change of plan. The president has changed his style of leadership as opposed to how he did it in his first term.
All right,
and the president is absolutely right on that. So
let me interject. Let me interject you. Let me interject you and ask you this. You say the president has changed how he operates. Is it a case of the president changing, or was he forced to change because of rebellion within the coalition?
No, there was no rebellion within the coalition. The rebellion came in, or if you call it a rebellion, it is divergence of views came in because of the way the president started running affairs of our political party, Jubilee. You see, when you are running a political party, you need to give everybody the respect they deserve, especially the members of parliament who are elected. You need to consult before you make major decisions on the party. So when we hear Jubilee, we have gone into a handshake with ODM, which is meant to be the opposition, which is meant to be checking on government, overseeing that government is not being excessive in its execution of duties. Then we eliminate the opposition without even consulting the members of parliament for Jubilee. The next thing we hear, we are changing the constitution without you consulting the members. Honestly, in this democratic world, in this 21st century, you definitely expect that people will disagree.
And that disagreement has led to some quarters suggesting, hinting, in fact, wanting the deputy president to quit. Is that an option as we finalize?
No, Abubakar, that is not an option. Remember, William Ruto is not deputy president because of a favor somebody did for him. He is not deputy president because he bought the seat. He is deputy president because God is by design. God accepted it so. And the people of Kenya voted for a pair, the presidency. They voted for Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. There are those who voted because William Ruto was on the ballot, was with President Kenyatta. There are those who voted because President Kenyatta was with William Ruto. So they are both equal partners. They are conjoined twins. They are in this together to the end. And after that, then as the president retires, then William Ruto will chart his political way forward. And I think it is democracy that is, we need to accept that this is a democratic country, and let us exercise democracy in everything that we do.
All right, Mheshimiwa Caleb Kositani, Soy Member of Parliament, thank you once again for making time for us tonight on TV 47.
Thank you, Abubakar.
All right, and that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Pundits Night. I am Abubakar Abdullahi on behalf of the entire team that made this production possible. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of our programs tonight of all nights. Good night and God bless.